we go.
I think it is. Okay. Hello everybody, it's the 25th of August and it's time for yet another Sumo community meeting. Thank you for coming and thank you for showing up. I'm doing another one in a row because Madane's not here, so I have the honor of being your host today. We have a couple of people online. I think Centurion is there. All other people who are watching it live, maybe perhaps. Remember, you can also join us on #Sumo, so you can talk to us over there in real time. And I promise this time, actually, I'll try and drop an eye on there every now and then in case there's questions or live comments. Okay, other than that, I think we can start. I'm looking at the pad right now, and we can kick off with. Well, we didn't have any previous action items. There was quite a few discussions, but I think this is something that we're addressing with Madalena on the side. We have the Sumo development updates.
No Kadir, no Ricky.
Oh, okay. I don't see. Oh, yeah, because I didn't see the list. Yeah, I don't see either
Kadir's
or.
traveling.
Oh, right. It's starting today.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm just. Yeah. I mean, just for the sake of the recording, I'm just going to maybe mention the things that are in the pad so that people can go through them. There's a link to the current sprint. There's the roadmap items as usual, and then there's a couple of updates regarding the 25% time projects and a question about a certain bug. But we're going to leave this maybe for Kadir and Ricky to answer through the Etherpad, and then people can just catch up on the Etherpad. Other than that, we have the UX updates. Do we have any UX updates? I think Kadir is doing the same things as well, right? He's doing UX as well, so we're skipping these.
I think one update that we can give is that the contractor that we've been looking to hire for the Forum 2 work and some stuff on for user advocacy, that UX contractor has been hired, so he should be starting shortly, and we can get moving forward with some UX stuff on those projects.
Okay, that's great. Okay, and then we have the roundtable. And first of all, yeah, precisely. I mean, I think it's Dave there said that, but I think everybody can just add to that huge thanks to Michelle for all the time she spent with Sumo and for all her help and hard work on getting things rolling and moving. And yeah, on the Mozilla community as well. We're probably going to have, like this week is going to be our last, so we're going to have a series of farewells and thank yous coming her way, so there's going to be more and more. I don't know, does anybody want to get personal now on air or anything, or are we saving that for a special moment?
Oh, okay, well, I'll say thank you. Thank you, Michelle. You've been great. A great inspiration to the community and to me. And we'll see you where we see you.
Precisely. We'll be around. We're all on the internet anyway, so you know, once you guys go in, once you connect, you never leave. Okay, so Firefox Desktop, the update.
Yep, no major update. Firefox 32 is coming out next week, so there'll be a contributor post on that. Also, I just wanted to call out that next Monday is Labor Day in the United States, so everyone in the US will be off, and that will impact the release a little bit. We'll be doing some of the build work and different times than we normally do, so there'll be some oddness on that.
Okay.
Because I'm not looking constantly all the time. Is there any? There's not any big user-facing things in 32, is there?
Nothing user-facing. Let me double-check on the release notes here real fast. There's a whole bunch of performance improvements in 32. So we have our new HTTP cache, generational garbage collection, and we may be having an off-thread main compositor as well, which will be a big performance win. There's some stability worries on that as well, so I have to double-check. Other than that, nothing majorly user-facing.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. Hermina, what do you have about Firefox OS?
I realized I was muted probably. Sure, just a couple of things. It's work in progress from last week. So we still have the USSD bug in Colombia, and people are working on it, but there's still no outcome for the moment. As well as for the Brazilian top-up bug, we are helping Telefonica as much as we can, and we already sent our request to OEMs as well to see if we can be of any help. And also, I wanted to ask Ralph and Joni if there are any updates on the training that Ralph has created. Is it ready? I mean, Telefonica localized it in Spanish, but is it now all that localization is integrated into what we had before, and it's ready to be sent to OBs? I get requests from OBs to have it.
I haven't heard any updates regarding that training, regarding that status.
Okay, Ralph, do you know anything? Because last time I sent you the training in Spanish and also the screenshots. You know, I made some screenshots on my phone in Spanish, and I was hoping we will be able to update it.
Okay. I thought that we. So an update, you mean translation of the whole training to Spanish?
Okay, maybe we can take this offline. It's been translated to Spanish. You know, when I sent the document, Joni was just telling me that there are some screenshots that need to be updated as well because they were in English. And I took screenshots with my phone and I sent it your way. So I didn't know what happened. That's why I thought it's somewhere, and I got a request from OB in Telefonica to send it over. And I thought it's posted somewhere on a website, and I don't know about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think we did update all the screenshots into Spanish.
That's great.
Yeah, we did that maybe a few weeks ago, but I don't know what happened to it since then.
Okay, maybe we can take it offline and just have it ready. So for everybody to know, we now have Ralph's amazing training in English and Spanish as well. So you can use it, or you can send it to partners or people who ask for it. We'll just see where to put it, and then we'll share the link with everybody.
And meanwhile, also just to mention, awesome contributors in India and Bangladesh are also translating it to their local languages. So it'll also be available in those languages.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I muted for a second because there's a lot of people on their little mopeds around, driving around here, so I didn't want you to get all the buzzing of the engines. Okay, thank you for those updates, Marina and Ralph. And we're moving on to Thunderbird, where there's no updates, so that's about it. For metrics, do we have anything?
Oh,
Oh,
did you skip Android? Did you skip Android?
Oh, crap. I did, sorry. That's my fault, sorry. I just cannot read apparently on Monday, sorry. So Firefox Android. Take it away.
Android is awesome. Firefox 32 has clear history from About Home, which I think I've said at least 3 times on this meeting, which is a much requested feature, as Rob and Tyler know. And we have a revised FAQ. And fingers crossed for a smooth release like 31. But yeah, and that's it, and no update for Thunderbird.
Okay, cool. So no Thunderbird updates, no updates for the metrics, and then community. So for community, I have one update just as a reminder for everybody on the community forum. We're going to have the buddy meetup coming back this week, so we're restarting the buddy meetups, and it's going to happen at 3 p.m. UTC. So I don't remember precisely what time it was. I think it's around 5 CET, but I'm just repeating this for myself. 3 p.m. UTC, that's the most important one. And the IRC channel is the same as usual, Sumo Meet. We already have some people jumping in and out, so thank you for everybody who's checking it out. and there's already a bunch of old timers, so to speak, replying and gearing up for the reboot of the PuTTY program. So we're definitely looking forward to bringing it further into the next level, so to speak. And then we also have an update from Centurion about Mozilla Bangladesh promoting Sumo from Mozilla Bangladesh Facebook page. So thank you very, very much for that. And the more we talk about our community to the people we're in touch with regularly, the more people we can actually get on board and the more fun we're going to have, while also helping people. That's like a side thing. But yeah, we're going to have definitely. We have to reach what 1 million, right? So we're slowly getting there, I guess, step by step. Okay, knowledge base updates, Joni and Michael.
Hi. So we've been getting a lot of questions on the support forum that have to do with sync, and we do have articles for them, but for some reason these articles aren't getting found. So we've moved the Firefox sync topic to the product page on the knowledge base, and we're also adding it to the ask a question flow so that people will know that we have articles for them before they post a question. We also have a few new articles, one for Firefox sync for people who are wondering what happened to their email confirmations, and also one for desktop to address that whole missing profile problem. And I'm uploading synonyms tonight, so if you have any, please add them to the Etherpad. And finally, I think starting this week, I'm going to start looking at week-by-week article trends in terms of traffic. So last week, the most views, articles with most views were the Get Started article and also the Hotfix article. So there are, I guess they're both sort of expected to be on top there. And then we have the biggest spike in views was for the Reset Firefox article. So I don't know if that's unusual, but it looks like we have like 126% increase in views for the US. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Joni. And then we have user education. So, Michael, take it away.
Let's see. Oh, sorry. So you might have seen last week. There was it last week or was it the week before? There was like a Firefox town hall about getting Firefox on a growth trajectory. And one of the things that we're doing is we have this growth team to test out new ideas, put them in action, see what things we can do. So it's a small team, and we're trying to do things super fast. So I'm on this. There's a link in the Etherpad to like a backlog of projects that we have. There's lots of things that are that I've already been working on, or things that the user success team has suggested that are part of those projects. So a couple of weeks ago, we had put together a list of all the things that we know that that we think affect attrition, people switching to other browsers, either temporarily, like, oh, this video isn't working right at this moment, let me try it in another browser, to these things add up over time and have people switch browsers. So lots of those types of things there's projects around how can we make a difference here, and that's all on that backlog stuff there that you can go see. And I listed some of the stuff there in our Etherpad today. So just so you know that that's happening, there's a work day in San Francisco this week that I'll be at. We'll be digging into some of these things more. That's it.
Okay, cool. Yep, now I'm just jumping around here because, yeah, okay, so now for localization. Not that many updates. I actually have kind of a technical question, and I just wanted to pick your brains for a second, maybe, because this was actually mentioned by Dave. Thanks, David, for mentioning this. So the Mozilla.org side of things is actually splitting locales into EN-US and EN-GB. So there's going to be a British version and there's going to be a American English version of their content. Now the question is, does it actually make sense for us to do the same thing on the support side? Would you say it brings any value? Do you think it's worth discussing, or would you just say it's too much overhead? I mean, what are your opinions, guys? Because I have a personal opinion, but just because I think something doesn't mean that it's actually good.
Well, I think this has been discussed many times before. It's one of those things that just gives me a feeling of deja vu, but I would say that maintaining two different flavors of English would be a waste of time and resources, and so I'd much rather see us get together and hack on one set of English documentation. I think that would serve everyone better in the end, including our users, which is what we're here for. So I think that's sort of where we landed in the past, where we had these similar conversations.
Mm-hmm.
What's the reason for .org splitting the English language like that? Is it for marketing materials, or?
So David, do you have maybe more background for this, because you're just joined in for that particular point?
Yeah, like the bug number of where they're splitting .org would be great.
The reason why they're splitting .org is due to there's a UK version of Firefox, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's a British version of it.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is a maintain ENGB locale, I think, for Firefox, the product, which is a much easier thing to maintain. It's just a few strings in the product, whereas support documentation, there's a ton of documentation that you would have to maintain, and they're essentially the same. It's just we're talking about different flavors of spelling, some orders of U's and O's and whatnot. So in our case, we don't have a proper technical solution to handle slight variation of locales like that. So we would actually effectively have to maintain two separate versions of each article, which would be a big waste of time. So I just think technically it's just not feasible for us. And even if we invested in it, I'd say that it would still be a waste of time.
We'd actually have to maintain 3 versions, because there's also a South African version of English for Firefox Desktop, and there's also Australian English, and so
We've got Canadian English as well. So I think I totally agree with you guys, because from my experience, whenever there was the issue of actually having multiple locales for language, sublocales for a given language, it only made sense, for example, in big cases like, let's say, Brazilian Portuguese versus Portuguese, like Portugal Portuguese. And that kind of made sense because there's actually enough difference and variety between those two languages, even though they stem from the same source, to actually have two separate locales. Whereas for English, in the American flavor and the British flavor, like David mentioned here already, it doesn't really make much sense, because it's not really about the cultural part of things, it's about the technical part of things, it's about solving problems about software. So if this was, for example, I don't know, if we had the language course, yes, definitely, we would totally, have two different versions of everything, and that would be the point. Whereas here, the point is just to drive, clear instructions, make users find solutions and do it fast and be happy with it. And whether we use a slightly different flavor of the language, where actually all the words have the same meaning, that's actually a kind of, I think the point is moot as well. So as much as Mozilla.org is doing the split, I totally vote as well for just keeping things easy and just sticking to the one English. Also, another thing I think that David mentioned was also removing the dash after the US, before the US. So actually just having EN as a locale. Would that make sense as well? Would it make it easier for people? Or, I think, Joni, this is a question more to you. Is there a good reason why we have the dash US there, or?
I don't know. I don't know if someone else has. I don't think so.
I'd like to think that we've had that conversation in the past as well, and I forget the specific reason. I think it's just a matter of, are we going to put in development time for something that doesn't make a difference, or are we just going to plow forward and focus on the things that actually matter for users? I mean, that's a blunt way of saying it, but really I think there's no reason why we should invest development resources to fix something that doesn't need fixing. I think also this is one of the great things about localization is that you can sort of you see some of the passion from people of kind of in some ways the feeling of belonging to a particular community, like your country, your specific dialect, and that's one of the great things of building communities. And I think there's always a trade-off where like Mihal says, is when it comes to support, it's just a matter of getting to a solution to a problem. So people don't, like, users won't care if it's ENUS or ENGB or whatever flavor of English you may have. Whereas with marketing, it's going to be a different thing, where you can't actually use the same phrases. So yeah, so I think yes, we could switch to EN, but let's not, because we have a shortage of development resources. So, and there are more important things for them to work on.
All good points. I think so. Yeah, we can totally just. I mean, sorry for raising a zombie out of the grave and just saying, well, okay, discussing something that we probably discussed a lot, but this has been raised, and yeah, I thought it would be a good point just to address. Okay, another thing is we're actually, Firefox OS is launching with new devices in India today, and I just wanted to thank everybody from the community who was working on the translations and making sure that actually we reach the goals. Thanks everybody. Let's keep going, because actually there's going to be more people now jumping into the support and forums as well, but also onto the support pages, just checking, making sure that they find the right information in their language, hopefully. So thank you very much one more time, and let's just keep going. Let's cover, all the possible important articles for India.
Cool.
Okay, for the support forum, we don't have any major updates. I think I didn't get any updates from Madalena about that, so I'm just going to leave it this way, unless somebody has something to raise, but I think we're at a no major update point for this. And for contributors of the week, also I didn't get any nominations, and I don't think I'm well versed in the community enough just to kind of find contributors, kind of nominate contributors just yet. So I'm just taking a look around myself just to make sure what's going on in the forums and replying to some of the posts. And thank you, by the way, to everybody who's on the forums and being very, very kind to me and welcoming. But yeah, I don't think we have any contributors of the week, unless somebody nominates somebody right now. We still have 2 minutes. Nope. Okay. So I would say that's about it. There's only a bunch of notes down there about people being off. That's also good to know. So yeah, we all know Madalena's missing today. That's it. She would be otherwise.
It's always great to see your face at that. Yeah. And Michelle, our last community meeting.
Oh.
You're here. Okay, perfect. Yay, you joined us. Okay, great.
Sorry, late.
Sorry, I wasn't actually looking at the screen right now, so I was just looking at the notes. Sorry. Hey, Michelle.
Because you're doing such a good job leading the meeting.
No, let's just say I'm just showing up that I have a white wall behind me. That's it.
Me too.
Okay, cool. So I think it's time to wrap it up. Unless somebody has anything else to mention or bring up, you have around 60 seconds now. And I'm actually very, very sorry for not enabling the stream. It's totally my fault because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to make sure that next time it's actually streamed live as well. Sorry, guys.
It's complicated. It's a complicated request. Give yourself
Why
a
does
couple
everything
weeks.
have so many moving parts?
Okay, guys. So that's it for then. For now, I mean, and yeah, thanks a lot. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.